I don't
So,
want to hear
Laisha, with the same question about the career situation, how we were asking Bo those questions, would you acquiesce to what your husband would say as far as
I
your career?
did.
Would you be able to? You would.
I stopped work. That's why I'm a stay-at-home, because it's more feasible for me to homeschool the kids and me to watch the kids, and like that's what I do. I am a stay-at-home mother.
So, Bo, you on your own.
I could understand if I had like a great career. That's why I was speaking on it. Like if I had a great, but I was like, I have an English degree, like, so I could have been like a teacher. Didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I was bartending on the weekends because it was fun. And then when he was like, I got a career now, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna sit at home.
Basically, he hit her with the.
Hey man, that's actually my next clip, though.
Hold on, wait. Basically, he hit her with the your money don't make enough to cover any of this shit. Sit your ass at home.
Not what happened.
Your money is not worth the daycare. That's basically what he told you.
This is not what happened. But okay.
If you brought your husband over here and I asked him, hey, when y'all was going over her staying at home, what went through your mind was he looked at your amount of money you made, looked at how much daycare cost, and said, fuck that shit. You can just stay at home.
Hold on.
You funny.
There's a scenario to you ladies on this side. If you were married to a very wealthy man who told you that you never had to work or lift a finger because everything is taken care of, he just wants you to focus on raising the children and managing the home, how would that make you feel? How would you respond to that?
I actually just had this happen to me not that long ago, and he did tell me that, and I said, that's really nice, but I'm still going to work.
And that's why your ass ain't got a ring on your finger.
That happened, I declined.
Okay.
And that's why your ass ain't got a ring on your
I probably still have
finger.
some type of side business. Honestly, I love working. And as much as I
that's why your ass
loved
ain't got a ring
getting
on
to
your
be
finger.
there with my daughter for the first few years of her life, but I'm a go-getter. I was bored. And I also think, your ambition will kind of show you as a mirror the other person and what they're thinking and how they're thinking about you. Because when I did become more ambitious and I started my first company, it started like a rift between me and my ex. He was like, oh, you have to go to work? Well, what does that mean? Like, are you going to cheat on me? Blah, blah, blah. There was all this insecurity when I started to work more. And it really didn't have anything to do with the work because I was still going home, cooking, cleaning, doing it. Well, not cleaning, but doing all that stuff. I don't believe in cleaning.
You keep saying that you were bored. I'm just wondering if you took some of that boredom and channeled it into your motherhood or channeled it into the home in a different way. Do you think you could have just used it in a different way to help your family, or do you think that it needed to be something that happened outside of the home?
I think I need to build things for lots of people. I like to build for hundreds, thousands of people, and that's what I do now. So for me, it's like I was tending to the orchard every day. I had a full garden. I walked to the beach. I took surf lessons, did all this stuff, and I was still like, it felt for me, not for everyone, but it felt very like I'm doing this for 3 people, and I want to build for lots of people.
Okay.
I have a slightly different perspective. I personally, when I have a kid, y'all not gonna see me. I'm gonna be with my kid, and it's gonna be awesome. And I think that it will bring out another side of me, and I'm excited about that. My thing is the reason I declined it from the person who said that to me is I feel like they wanted to suppress me. They didn't want me to outshine them. And so my thing is, we have a partnership. I'm probably gonna step away because I want to be with my child. I'm also educated. I'll probably homeschool my child because I know the education system,
Hey, JR,
so
can you
these
pause
things
it
are
real quick?
important, and that's...
Real quick, I got a question for Bo. This is gonna be on the other side of the coin.
Okay.
So let's say you did go out there and you got your doctorate and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got over $100-some thousand in student loan debt.
Mm-hmm.
And your man and this man marries you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a kid and you tell him, yeah, I think I want to quit my job. I think I want to quit so I can be at home with the kids. And he tells you, hell nah. You didn't go rack up $100,000 worth of debt just to bring your ass home. You going to work. Are you going to say I'm going to work? Or are you going to say,
Hell
F
yeah,
that, I'm
because that's
quitting my
my
job?
debt to pay off. I would never do that to someone. I would never do that to my husband. I'm gonna make you pay off the debt that I incurred because I wanted to go to school. No, that's not right.
So one of the things in that video that kind of really just broke my heart was when that lady said, I was tending a garden, but I was only doing it for 3 people, and I want to do it for hundreds of people. That's so sad to view your family with just 3 people. Like that, for me personally, like my family, my whole world. Like, fuck the rest of the world. This is my world. For you to say you need to tend to the rest of the world and not those 3 people, that shit kind of hurt my feelings. I ain't gonna hold you.
The reason why I asked that question though, Bo, was because one, first of all, it's so sad to see those 3 beautiful, there are 3 beautiful women, and you can see that ring finger is empty, because I would argue the 2 on the right, on the first 2 ladies that answers were actually far more insidious than yours were. You said you would at least have a conversation. They said no. Whether he can come at them with a good plan and everything. And she said, "No, I'm not giving that up for you." And then
that mentality comes from older women
hold on,
pouring into us.
I am not done.
Okay.
And then what made me ask you that question,
my bad,
is what made me ask you that question.
Turned to TikTok.
Was the first chick, I mean, the one that said, "Oh, when I have my kid, you ain't gonna see me." No, F you. Your ass did not go over there and rack up all that fucking student loan debt, become this boss babe and all this shit, just so you can tie down with a man and then tell him you got to take on all that, and you just gonna quit your fucking job? No. Hell no. Hell no. Because I can guarantee you, just the kind of boss babe she is, she would tell him, "I don't care what you think, I'm not going to work," and he'd have to eat that shit.
I don't care. I think the other reason it triggered me because I know
the responsibility, and I embrace that responsibility.
What I was gonna say was I've seen people neglect being a mother to help other people and leave their kids hurt so that they can help the rest of the world. It's almost like you want validation from the rest of the world. You don't really care about your family because you believe they're supposed to love you anyway. I just want to say, if you're a mother who do that, know your kid gonna have a problem with you for the rest of their life, and a serious problem.
Can I offer you another perspective though? That may very well be true, but a lot of times it is not the fact that she wants outside validation from anyone. She's not doing this for looks or to be seen a certain way. I want you to also look at it that it may be her just trying to serve people. She wants to serve people. Some people just have a servant spirit, and that's what they want to do. And she doesn't just want to do it for her 3 people. She wants to do it for more, because if she can bless her family, what if she can bless more people? Some people just they have a spirit of servitude. They want to help. And so it's not a selfish thing, and it's not neglecting anyone. If anything, sometimes those types of people teach their children how to serve. And that is useful as well.
So those type of people neglect their kids, and then they take care of everybody else, and then they be looking crazy when the kid don't want to fuck with them, and then want to have an attitude because they can't figure out, why can't I connect to this child? When the child looking at you like, "No, you fucking chose these other people, bitch, go be with them."
Well, and white. So there's an extreme version of that, right? The ones that neglect, but then you also got to think about the ones that is not necessarily. They're the ones that join the PTA. They're the ones that bake the cakes for the school and stuff like that. So like, think of, like, I get what you're saying, that extreme, like, oh well, my doing this ain't really enough. But like the ones that truly want to serve, they want to serve not only their family but their community as well.
And I think that a lot of people may not talk about it enough.
If your family suffer for the community, you a terrible parent.
I'm not saying so. I don't think we're talking like what I'm talking about is not a woman that says I'm willing to sacrifice my family for the community. I'm talking about a woman that says I got an overabundance, so I can go ahead and give that to the community as well. Because that's the reason why women wind up on PTAs. That's the reason why they wind up doing all the church functions. Because without them, there wouldn't be no community.
I just think that nobody talks about it enough, that like a lot of times when you become a wife and then you become a mother, sometimes you lose a big part of your, like, of yourself. Like, I was Alacia before I was Alacia the wife and Alacia the mom, right? And sometimes women want to find something to still have like, okay, yeah, I'm a huge percentage of me is the wife and the mom, but I still want to have that little something that is just like, I'm Alacia that does yoga, or I'm Alacia that does community service with pets every weekend, or I still have something that still represents me as a human being. People don't want to lose that. And I don't
You know
think that that's a terrible thing.
you know what represent mothers and fathers as human beings? They kids. They kids are the biggest representation of them. And to look,
Marcus, have you ever coached like little league or basketball?
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Same concept.
But what I'm saying is, so the way I view this, and y'all may not agree with me, I got my own personal experience with this. So I look at it like this: the women that run the streets and be fucking niggas and doing drugs and all that shit and neglect their kids, the same as the women who go to church and neglect their kids. You neglecting your kids. Just because you felt like you was gonna get more praise from doing it, you still was a terrible parent and neglected your kids. So as far as I'm concerned, they're in the same boat.
So when I asked you the question about how you ever coach little league or basketball or football, it's the same concept. It's the same concept, the same mindset.
Like doing something outside of your family.
That you have a lot to offer in the world. You have a lot to give in the world. So you go out there and you give it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I guarantee you wasn't getting paid you don't get paid to coach little league. You go out there and volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're giving of yourself.